issue 5, and welcome to this month's issue of Motovision, the video magazine. We start this month's issue with the mud of Germany, where Vial attempts to break the Italian domination. Then across to Kester in Belgium, and Stefan Everett stamps his authority on the 250 World Championship at his home GP. The Swedish 500 GP is next, and Shane King struggles to stay with Joel Smets in the championship hunt. From there it's off to South America and Brazil for the 250s, where more mistakes from the young Tortelli allows Everett to walk away with the championship lead. Next up is Hawkston Park in England, and back to the 500s, where the powerful four-strokes dominate in the sand. Then hang on to your hat, because it's off to America for rounds 4 and 5 of the Outdoor Nationals. Jeff Emig and Ricky Carmichael are trying to blow the socks off the rest of the Yanks. Enjoy the video. Welcome to Germany, welcome to the Gestetten Circuit for round 8 of the 125 Motocross World Championship. We took time to catch up with a man that's had a very, very difficult season, Paul Malin.
Good qualification yesterday, but the weather conditions now deteriorating even worse. This increases your chances of a good result?
I think now the start is a little bit more critical. A lot of riders, like the first lap, probably going to be discarding goggles. It's going to be a case of trying to keep them on as long as possible, staying out of trouble the first sort of 10-15 minutes of the race. Obviously, if you get a whole shot, you can stay clean and probably break away a little bit. But the start straight is pretty short. The first turn's pretty narrow and off-cambered downhill, so there may be a few crashes there. But we've never raced here before, so it's a job to say whether that's going to happen or not. People might be a little bit more cautious than normal.
What about the season so far? Pretty disastrous, but are you looking to get him back on track now and put in some GP victories and some points out of the bag? Yeah, I mean, the aim for me now is to get as many points as possible, get myself as high up the championship table as possible now. It's like the last 5 Grand Prix, it feels like it's the start of the year for me now. The first one was hit by injury, the second and the third one were just sort of like unfortunate. And then the next one I had to pull out again through injury. Italy was unfortunate, a couple of problems there. And then England and Slovenia, another injury. So, it's just about time now that it gets back on track and, like I say, try and get as high up as possible. Well, good luck today. Maybe the weather will favour the Brits, but I expect the French will be quite strong in this weather conditions also. Yeah, I think anybody, though. You can't write anybody off. You may have some guy like, 111, whoever he is, he may even win it because, if he makes a whole shot, he can just stay out of trouble and, you know what I mean? It's going to be one of them freaky days where you just got to keep plugging away and hope you stay out of trouble and everything goes your way.
From there, we had a chance to catch up with the man that was first reserved for the day, Jamie Dobb.
Jamie Dobb back on form in England last week with a good victory at Ellsworth, but conditions here today even worse, I believe.
Yeah, they are, and I had a couple of problems yesterday that didn't help in qualification, so I'm just kind of praying that I can get on the line and get a race, because I know my speed's good enough and I've got a good chance of winning with all the mess out there, so it's going to be a fight for survival, I think.
So if you can get starts, you hope to do very well?
Yeah, if I can get on the gate, I'm pretty confident that I can finish top 5, no problem, and put the Suzuki with the Dunlop tyres up there.
And what about these weather conditions for the Brits? An advantage for you guys?
I don't know if it's an advantage. It's the same for everyone out there, so we've just got to keep plugging on. I mean, there's a lot of experienced guys out there, so hopefully we can get on the gate and get a decent start and work my way through or whatever.
At last, a fully fit Bob Moore from the USA, and he had a look at some of the mud around the Gestetten Circuit.
Bob Moore, terrible weather conditions, but make a good start and it could be a good race for you today.
Yeah, I hope so. The start's going to be really important, that's for sure, because just in the rain, there's not too many places to pass, and if you do, you're taking risks. So I just hope for a good start and good for some 2 good races today.
And this is the last chance we'll have to speak to you before you go to Unadilla to ride American Nationals. You've been watching those results quite closely. What's your ambitions on that day?
Well, I hope to win. It's really difficult because I raced against the guys that are winning in America now in January and February, and but I don't know if they were going 100%, if they had their bikes, but also for me, I had a standard bike, and it was just no suspension done or anything. So, but I'm looking forward to going over there anyways. It'd be my first time racing at Nationals in, I believe, 11 years. So that'll be kind of fun, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it's I have one more race to do here in Finland, which is in 2 more weeks, and then I'm going to go back over there. I was planning on going over there anyways, but yeah, I'm looking forward to going over there and racing. It should be fun.
And how much have you seen of the new star, young star, Ricky Carmichael?
Just on the videos that you give me, but he looks really good. He's riding really aggressive, and I think he's just a person that's in the right place at the right time. There's Lamson got hurt this year, and also the Yamaha rider Wyndham is having so year. He seems like he has the speed, but not really the results. And and Carmichael's just there. He's just there to take it. So he's riding really good, and we'll wait and see.
Well, good luck today. But more important for us over here in Europe, good luck at Unadilla. We'd like to see a cracking result.
Yeah, I'll try to bring back the show that the Europeans are fast over here, and yeah, I know there's going to be quite a few Europeans over there. I know Talon is planning on probably going. Mike Brown's also going to ride, but 125 class, and Stefan Everts, and so it should be good. It should be fun, because that's a more, not so much a American track. It's more European, but still has some American style stuff in it. But it should be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, down to the line they go for race 1 of the day. Immaculately prepared Yamaha of Bobby Moore's down to the line. Chiodi, of course, will be down there, number 121, the flying Italian that has done so well this year. Massio having a look at things as well. Umbrellas at the ready. And, of course, yours truly, Jamie Dobb. Alessandro Puzar looking for somewhere to park as well. Into the centre of the gate will go Chiodi. Alongside him will be Puzar. And then Federici looking for a posse as well. Vial back from injuries. And Jorgensen has got a problem. They're on the line. The 15-second board will be up and running. And Jorgensen has got a problem. Can you believe it? That will not please him. Away they go. A very, very long start straight here at Gestetner. They'll hook into a left hand. And Bobby Moore has gone out already. Bobby Moore has not made the first corner. That will not please him. He's just come back from injury. The man that's gone to the front has just come back from an injury. That is Vial, the man that was out of the points at Fox Hills, unfortunately. He's made a dramatic comeback into the 125s. He's going to have to take it by the scruff of the neck, because Chiodi and Federici and the rest of them have been amassing points very, very quickly around the rest of Europe. But suddenly today, out of the gate, Vial is there. Massio is there. The air horns, as usual, are there. This is Germany. This is the mud. But right now, it's all about one man, and he's got it so together. Vial looking absolutely sensational at the moment. Different riding styles come out in the mud. There's Chiodi, hard to recognize, the little Italian man, but he's there, and he'll be doing a good job. Verberg is there. He's keeping it all together. Well, you can just see the brown number plates already, so this is going to make it very, very difficult for the lap scorers. Massio, though, is still stringing them together very, very nicely indeed. Camerlengo was looking good. Where are the English riders? Where is Carl Nunn? We've seen that Jorgensen had a problem. There is Jorgensen, so he is definitely going to be out of the race at this stage. Vial takes a tear off, pulls it across very, very quickly. He's now got to get back on the gas. This is where they start throwing goggles away. And it's not so easy. Once you've parted with your goggles, they ain't coming back. So now Chiodi is going to start to make a move. Chiodi, we've seen him on the dry circuits around Europe, absolutely sensational. That's Kaczynski that comes into your frame as well. He's certainly having a good day. So is Verberg, circulating like clockwork at the moment. But it's all about Vial. I don't think Chiodi is on the same pace at the moment here in Germany. Round 8 of the 125s. And the 125s have been all about the 3 Italians in 1997. And they really have been very, very dominant, as have been the Yamahas all around Europe. Vial went missing with an injury, and the rest were able to just pull away a little bit. But he's certainly back in the last couple of events, and down they go in the mud again. It's not that easy to keep it upright. So Federici goes down. The bike just drops over, and of course, with the mud compacting, it's getting heavy, but it's not getting heavy for this man. Vial in incredible form. The goggles are now off. He's got the bit between his teeth, and he is charging. Well, he's capitalised on a small mistake that Vial made. So Puzar has gone to the front. Chiodi, the flying Italian, has gone to second. Vial is down to third, but it's not over yet. They've got plenty of mud to contend with. Chiodi looks very, very good in the mud. There's Vial. He's got himself back and pointing in the right direction again. But it's very, very slippery. And another mistake. This time it's Chiodi. So now it's Puzar into second spot. Goes Vial back to second. Then it's Chiodi. Well, can Puzar possibly pull off a victory here in Germany today? He certainly worked very, very hard for it. He's done a lot of work around Europe this year, and he's always been the bridesmaid, but never the bride. But today he could certainly string it together. Well, he'll only know from his pit crew exactly how close that checkered flag is. But Chiodi's back on the charge again. That is Puzar, number 100. Number 121, chasing him down at the moment is Chiodi, the man that leads the championship series at the present time. But they've got a long way to go. Still a lot of racing in 1997. This is the race. This is the championship that Tortelli won last year. And they're looking for a new 125cc World Championship to come out of these riders this year. Verberg's still keeping it all together. He's had a very, very solid ride indeed. But in these muddy conditions, if the bike goes down, everything gets slippery. The bike banks up with mud. They get very, very heavy and very, very difficult to ride indeed. Well, things have changed around the circuit. Chiodi has gone down and dropped the bike. That has allowed the ever-popular Kaczynski to move up a good couple of places. He's gone up to fourth position, the German rider. So they've got it all to do again. Chiodi has gone back to fifth. So that is going to change the overall positions yet again. And Chiodi must be wondering, where are his pit signals? How many laps are remaining in this? Very, very heavy conditions. I'm sure the pit crew can hardly even see their rider. They'll know from his riding style exactly who it is. And of course, they know from the color of the helmet and the shirt. And they know that he should be coming round like clockwork. He's dropped it. He's made a mistake. Vial made a mistake. Chiodi made a mistake. They've all been there. Puzar has been very, very consistent indeed. And we'll see at the end of the day, who is it going to be? Kaczynski looking very, very good indeed. And so has Verberg. So Chiodi is back up and circulating. Another rider has gone down. Not a happy chappy at all. Well, you can see from Marcia, once you take your goggles off, it's a very, very dangerous thing to do. He's got a problem, but no problem at all. For Alessandro Puzar, he will take the race win, and a very, very popular win indeed. Second, and a nice ride from Vial. But what about the third man, the German hero? Kaczynski brings it home. The Schumacher salute goes up. The Germans are in charge again. What a day. Well, from a smiling Puzar, it's going to be straight back down to the gate very, very quickly. And this time, James Dobb has got a ride. That's going to please Dobby. The gate is about to drop. Heat number 2, Germany. Away they go. They'll hook away to our right this time. Well, Bob Moore is right in the thick of it this time. Bob Moore, that never made the first corner in race number 1, has got off to an excellent start this time. But he's going to have to race against. There he is again. The flying Vial is there. So Kanstinger is right behind him. So he's off to an excellent start. Where is Bobby Moore? Where is Jamie Dobb? Well, we're going to find out pretty quickly. There's the flying American, the little man that's always got a smile, but he's had a lot of injuries to ride with this year. And then 121, the man that leads the series at the moment, the flying Italian Chiodi. But he's got to get back onto the tail of Vial very, very quickly. Vial knows that he's got to amass some points. Kanstinger is riding like a champion, another of the German very, very popular riders. They know the circuit, obviously. They'll be out there to do battle today. But in these muddy conditions, it could be anybody. Alessandro Puzar, he's had a great start to the day. But Vial, when he's on form, looks good. And suddenly the little tiny 125 takes on the handling characteristics of a 500 in the mud. So he's really having his work cut out. You can see the way the bike slides all over the circuit. You cannot get the power down, and that's making it very, very difficult to ride indeed. Bobby Moore still looking good. If he could just keep out of the injury problems, he's got some very exciting offers for 1998, and it would nice to see the smiling face of Bobby Moore right up there on the podium. Well, he certainly does try week after week. That's Jamie Dobb, the man that raced in the US of A last year, came back to the UK, looked very, very good for a while at Fox Hills. He had a big crash at Hawkstone, and he's had a couple of inconsistent rides, but if he can get it together, Jamie Dobbs certainly can run with the best 125 riders in the country. Well, Bob Moore continues to slice his way through the pack. Certainly one of the better rides that I've seen him have this year. The injuries really must be getting to him, and it's amazing once they start with injuries. We've seen Albertine in the States, you get one injury and it just goes on and on to haunt you week after week. And I'm sure Paul Malin knows that story very, very well indeed. So that's the man of the moment. That's Mr. Dobb having a great time out there, but he's still got Chiodi and Vial and Federici and all the Italians buzzing around his head. So he's got plenty of work to do before he's going to see a checkered flag. And looking for the podium as well will be Carl Nunn, bike number 21, but it's still the Vial man up in front and really just keeping it all together. He knows that he can't make a mistake. He's just got to slot them in lap after lap. There's no heroics, there's no time for showtime here at all. Kunstinger still doing a very, very good job indeed. He got into that first corner in the first 5 bikes and really has looked very, very impressive all the way around the circuit. Number 88, Jochen Kaczynski, an excellent first heat. He was the German that finished 3rd overall in heat number 1. Look how incredibly close to the track those trees are. A lot of circuits where you don't see that anymore. They take the track a long way away from the trees, but the trees here in Germany are certainly very, very close. So Kaczynski still having a good ride, but it's not over yet. That's the man that they've got to catch. Vial, he slipped down off the leadership board. He missed Fox Hills, and he missed the race immediately after that. I think it's San Marino, but he's come back and he's certainly started to slot in the results again. Number 15 putting in a bit of a run as well. That's still Kunstinger doing everything correctly. Kaczynski certainly looking very, very strong. Bob Moore looking spotless in this race. That means that he's not going fast enough. Number 10 from the USA. Bob Moore and Vial signaling away. He must know something. Either he's telling his pits that he wants something or the man in front to get out of his way. He needs to get through. Looking very, very cautious indeed now. He knows that these are World Championship points. A new world champion to replace Sebastian Tortelli, the Kawasaki sensation from 1996. The current world champion moved up to 250s, and of course he's left space for a new world champion. And who is it going to be? I'm sure Chiodi must have thought that his name was on the trophy already. Then Vial came back from injury, and it's all been stood on his head once again. That's Chiodi. Very, very good. Pit instructions go out to him every single weekend. These riders, of course, are professional. They've got a big job of work to do, some very, very big sponsors. And, of course, those sponsors, all they're interested in is podium results and a world championship at the end of the year. Well, they know that the checkered flag is not far away. The track is, I suppose, drying out slightly. The rain has abated for a while. But look at the mud that they're having to carry around the circuit on these 125 machines. That's Brian Jorgensen coming into our picture. And can you believe it? Paul the Malin. Well, nice to see him. And getting out of shape. Dobby slipping and sliding all over the circuit. You can just see how slippery it is. Jamie Dobb being kept very, very busy. And they know that perhaps he's done enough. That's it. Vial takes another victory. He is a very, very happy rider indeed. Second behind him will be Jochen Kaczynski. And in third spot, a very, very strong ride from Alessandro Puzar. So we move on to the Belgium 250 GP. Talon Voland having a look at a shrunken Stefan Everts motorhome. Somebody with a keen sense of humour there. And down to the gate, Stefan Everts having a look. This is his home GP. And having a look as well is Marnie Befoots, now sponsored by Winfield, the sister company to Johnson that he's ridden for so long. And he'll be looking to do a job for that company, Winfield Cigarettes. The gate drops and away they go. Frederick Bolly in the thick of it, but he's not close enough to the front. Well, the king is there, Stefan Everts, in front of his home crowd. There will be a huge crowd of spectators. They've all come to see the current world champion take on the little Frenchman, Sebastien Tortelli. And what are they going to do? Nice to see Mark Eastwood, the British rider, already up there in the Belgian Grand Prix. Look at the condition of the circuit, absolutely immaculate. And already the race has started. Tortelli, he's got the crowd on their feet very, very quickly. But Tortelli is off his feet. Tortelli has gone down. Tortelli's in the cheap seats. He got a rush of blood to the head. He's gone over the hay bales. That bike is not moving. The spectators are desperately trying to help him, and that is not allowed. They cannot get his bike. There he goes, over the top. Well, it looks like a circus routine. We saw him bail at Fox Hills. We've seen him bail here again today in the Belgium 250 Grand Prix. But it's all about Stefan Everts at the moment. He has gone away charging. Look at the crowds. Now they're starting to cheer the little Frenchman. He's crashed once, and normally when he loses his concentration, he battles to come back. But the Belgian flags, the air horns, everything will be out for the absolute king of motocross in Europe today, Stefan Everts. Marnie Befoots is up there as well. Pit Byra, the German rider, will be there. But I don't believe they'll get anywhere near Stefan Everts on his home circuit. The crowd in Belgium, this is their national sport. This is like being at Wembley to watch Manchester United. And you know what a buzz that gives the supporters and the players. Marnie Befoots on the new Winfield-sponsored Suzuki. He'll be wanting to put on a really good display. Jockey Carlson is there, but he's got plenty of work to do. That's the HRC 250 Honda that Stefan Everts promised the world. He's going to get the bike right. From here he'll go across to Venezuela. Then he's going to take on the Americans in their own backyard. And he says he can run with the best in the world. He's going to take on Jeff Emig, McGrath, Albertine, LaRocco. Well, that should be a shootout at Unadilla in a few weeks' time. But I'm sure Everts has got the speed. Well, now we see two teammates of yesteryear, Jockey Carlson and Robbie Herring, RWJ Honda against the Tim Brinton Cars Yamaha. And some heavy rumours around Colin Dugmore coming into the frame as well. Then Sebastien Tortelli. Some heavy rumours around that Robbie Herring will lose his ride with Tim Brinton for 1998. But that's all speculation at the moment. There's no speculation about this man, Stefan Everts, riding the HRC Honda. He has just slotted them in so incredibly in 1997. Marnie Befoots, the man that rode second all through last year, another Belgian rider. He can run with Everts on a good day, but Everts has become like Ronnie Robot. He just slots them in weekend after weekend. Very, very seldom drops the bike, makes few mistakes, and never seems to ride over his head. Only a couple of laps and that's it. He's done enough. Stefan Everts in Belgium takes the race win. First race of the day. Marnie Befoots is going to come in second yet again. And in third spot is going to be the very quick German rider, Pit Byra. Well, the adoring support for Stefan Everts yet again. Well, he's got to get back to the line. That is a full factory HRC Honda, and there's nothing wrong with that. Colin Dugmore on his left. Sebastien Tortelli on his right. He better get whatever is in his eye out of his eye, because he'll want to see exactly where Stefan Everts has gone to. Sebastien Tortelli, number 24. Colin Dugmore on the Seholz Honda. Looks like he's got his sandwiches with him and his pack hanging from his handlebars there. That's the way they take their goggles to the line. Race number 2. The board will turn, the gate goes down, and away they go. Who is going to get the all-valuable hole shot? Well, Stefan Everts is there. You can see the white on the back of his shirt going away. Is this man, in fact, beatable? Well, I think the Americans might have the answer. The rain is starting to come down, and it doesn't matter for Stefan Everts. rain, shine, snow or wind. He's just done it every single weekend of 1997. Sebastian Tortelli in a much better position this time. Mike Brown is there as well. That's the Tennessee rider, number 75 that came into the picture. And then the ever-charging Marnik Befoots, this time Winfield sponsored and looking very good. The hard-charging Sebastian Tortelli, Jan de Groot, Oxbow Kawasaki through the ruts. Even Stefan Everts almost having to pedal his way through those ruts very deep indeed. Marnik Befoots gets the power of that big Suzuki on very quickly. Head down. Very distinctive riding style from Stefan Everts. He's been at it a long time. He's eventually passed the total tally of 24 Grand Prix wins that his father set up, and he's gone on to surpass that, and that's a major stepping stone in his career. So Stefan Everts in front of his home crowd, they really do adore him. They come from all over Europe, but in Belgium, he is the local boy that has done so much for the sport. And they travel all around on coaches. They go across to Europe, wherever he's riding, the coach load with the Stefan Everts name on the front of the bus. They go from circuit to circuit. And of course, you'll see the tricolors come out as well. And they're all being waved for the flying Sebastian Tortelli. Well, what has happened to Colin Dugmore, we don't know. Frederick Bolly is there. That is the team companion of Sebastian Tortelli. He's expected to do great things as well because Tortelli has done so much good for Kawasaki in 1996 and 1997. The current World 125 champion. He's moved up and he's still showing them all the way around the circuit. Pit Byra, he's looking for some more points. Photographer gets out the way very quickly. Stefan Everts takes another great win. Marnik Befoots second yet again. And third man across the line, Pit Byra. And so we move on to Sweden for round 7 of the 500s. Listen to the exhaust note and you'll know exactly where we are. Pit specials in the air. Wonderful little plane from America. But meanwhile, back on the start line, who's it going to be? Well, Shane King is there on the big KTM, and alongside to him, Daryl King on that incredibly quick Husqvarna. And then number 22 is there. That's Trampus Parker, and he can take care of himself out of this gate. With the best 500 riders in the world, out they come. Who's it going to be? Can the Husaberg get there? Well, there you can see for yourself. Joel Smets has got there very quickly indeed. He has got that Husaberg absolutely flying out the gate. Very distinctive color, distinctive riding style. Shane King is behind him. Then they've got a whole pile of riders. Johansson is there on the new YZM 400. The bike that has been in every single motorcycle newspaper in the last few weeks. Goes into production in Japan for 1998. And an incredible machine with that 5-valve cylinder head that they're running. And that's the new 4-stroke Yamaha for 1998. They're running prototypes at the moment, but it's been very successful. And that is the hot news in the open class for motocrossers for next year. Right now, it's all about Joel Smets. He's got the Husaberg. The circuit here in Sweden is dry. We've seen plenty of mud in the last few weekends around Europe. Come across to Sweden, and now we've got good weather. Good crowd have turned out for 500 racing, and it certainly is turning out to be a very good class indeed. A couple of weeks' time, they'll move across to Hawkston, and Hawkston will yet again play host to the 500 Grand Prix. That will be good to see. In the days of Dave Thorpe, etc., a very big crowd used to get across to Hawkston, and that is all going to be rekindled for 1997. At the moment, number 2, Joel Smets, can he be beaten if that Husaberg stays together? The KTMs, they've thrown everything at it for 1997. They're on the pace, but this man has just proved to be too strong and too quick. Listen to the throat of that machine. Very different motorcycle to ride, a different riding style altogether. I often wonder why Robbie Herring doesn't switch to 500s. I've seen him ride a 500 from 13 or 14 years of age up, and he's very, very quick on a 500 motorcycle. So he might well move up next year, but we'll wait and see. Number 1, that is the current world champion Shane King on that very, very quick Austrian KTM. KTM's getting better and better in motocross. They've taken on the might of the Japanese, and the little Austrian firm, little by comparison to what the Japanese can throw over it in terms of money and dollars and distributors around the world. But KTM certainly have done very, very well. 125s, 250s, 500s, and of course in the Paris-Dakar type events, they're all about KTM motorcycles. So Smets has done enough. He's got the Husaberg. He's going to get another checkered flag, and certainly that will please him and Husaberg, and that's points and money in the bank. Second spot, I think, will go to Shane King, and we'll have to wait and see the checkered flag for our third man and take a look at the podium. Well, the podium is going to be Joel Smets, Shane King, and Johansson. So down to the line again. That is the revolutionary new YZM Yamaha, Bartolini's machine. Quick wash and polish, and down to the line. Wouldn't it be nice if we all had pits like that? Down to the line yet again. Shane King is already there. That is the flying KTM, the Austrian machine, made famous by Heinz Kinnegartner, the Austrian baker. It has done a wonderful job in rallies around the world. The 15-second board is gone. The gate has gone down. Who is going to get the whole shot? We look into the first corner. Number 4, Didi Lacker is there. Lacker has got out of the gate like a jackrabbit and gone screaming through the first corner. Whoa, down somebody goes. Well, he's going to have to pick that bike up and get going in a hurry. But in a hurry, Mr. Caprini up and running very, very quickly. But he's got a gaggle of riders behind him. Plenty of people in there. Jockey Carlson on the RWJ. Silkeleen Honda. Their bike's always immaculately prepared. Colin Reed's team from the UK. Very, very professional riders indeed. And Jockey Carlson flying the Honda flag for them. Oh, hello. Facing the wrong way in a one-way street. That's Bartolini. You don't see that too often. That's the power of the new YZM 400. Well, there's a truck a bit older than Steffen's. He needs to have a look at that rig. Not quite the same as what he's got. That's Capriani still up front. There's a problem. There is a problem. There's a puncture for Jockey Carlson. What a shame. He has gone out of the race. And that'll be a big disappointment to the RWJ Honda Silkeleen team. But they'll be back to fight another day, as they always are. Meanwhile, back at the front, what has happened to Caprani? What has happened to Shane King? There's the man of the moment. Smets, absolutely on fire again. Number 2, Joel Smets looking good. Shane King, the current world champion on the 500, trying to get a little bit closer. But Smets is just proving to be too quick at the moment. That Husaberg, very, very quick indeed. Well, what more can this man do? Joel Smets, that Husaberg powers its way around every circuit in Europe. But he's got a bit of pressure there. Johansson is back on the gas. Johansson says, let me get this Yamaha through to the front. Four-stroke versus 4-stroke now. But the new Yamaha, it's done an amazing job. It won in Las Vegas in the final Supercross, and that silenced all the critics around the world. So Shane King is chasing them on the 2-stroke KTM. So it's 4-stroke, 4-stroke, 2-stroke. Right now, the incredible Yamaha is back in front again. We said earlier, every magazine that you pick up at the moment is all about the YZM 400. It looks like a Rolex watch inside that engine compartment, and it really is a magnificent machine. A lot of people talking about getting up to the 500 class for next year, running 400s or 4-strokes. You don't have quite the running expenses of the 2-strokes, and certainly a very, very exciting new wave coming in European motocross. So Shane King needs to get in a little closer. Right now he's running in 3rd spot. You can see the crowds on the mountainsides in Sweden, all cheering on their local heroes. But at the moment it's the Yamaha mounted. Number 3, Johansson. He really has done a very, very good job for his sponsors. Kurt Nickel, Now we do have a British hope there, Kurt Nickel. He's getting closer and closer as well on the KTM. And then number 72 on the other YZM 400 is, of course, Bartolini. Well, you're not going to get much closer than these 2, 3, 4, and they just keep coming all the way around. 500 racing at its absolute best. Well, I think the danger man is Shane King, and I'm sure Smetzer's pits have told him that KTM is coming in a very, very big hurry. You don't get the World Championship #1 plate for being a wimp at the back of the pack. And Shane King, the ever popular New Zealander, he's on an absolute charge at the moment, but he's got some very, very heavy company in front of him. And I don't know, he's got Kurt Nickel behind him. Kurt Nickel certainly now charging that machine as well. But Smets knows this is the last corner. It's all over. He looks behind him. It's all over for Smets. Well, he's done enough. Well, Smets gets up on the back of the bike. Whatever McGrath can do, I can do better. Shane King goes to second, and Bartolini goes to third. A great ride from Smets. And so to Brazil, round 10 of the 250 GP World Championships. Can it be another one for Stefan Everts? Or can the hard-charging Mike Brown come back onto form? We caught up and chatted to him.
Yeah, it's very good. It's close to U.S. tracks, some little good jumps in it, and the terrain's good. It's probably the best track we rode on this year.
Well, that's the opinion of Mike Brown. Then we caught up with the strong German rider, Pit Beirer, and we asked him for his opinion.
It's really good. It's a nice track. You have uphills, downhills. That's what I like the most on a motocross track. So it's very natural. The only thing I don't like that much is that whoop section on the bottom. So that was also the place where I lost maybe a lot of time. For tomorrow I'm going to try to make it better. And anyway, for the 40 minutes it's going to be hard to make no mistakes in that whoop section.
Well, that's their opinion, but that is the man that they've all come here to beat in Brazil. Quicker in practice this morning was Sebastian Tortelli, but can he rattle the cage of Stefan Everts? I have my doubts.
Well, as long as he keep winning the qualifying practice, that's for me okay. He can win those. So if I win the race, then I'm happy. Yeah, he's always fast in practice, but I'm happy with my third place. My riding felt really good yesterday. I really feel comfortable on the track, so that gives me good motivation for today.
Well, motocross is alive and well in Brazil. Look at the crowd. They come out of the gate, front wheel in the air. Tortelli is there. Oh, what is this? Talk about the kids' first day back at school. This is worse than that. We're going to play pickup sticks for the rest of the day. The pack has gone down. Marnie Befoots is there, but Stefan Everts is on his way. Tortelli has gone through. Jockey Carlson has gone through. Mark Eastwood, that's nice to see that he's gone through as well. Yves de Maria has got through. Well, what a great shame on the first corner. That's going to mix things up considerably. Well, Talon Voland has come into the frame now as well. So is Tortelli. Well, this should be a good one. Talon Voland capable of running head-to-head with Stefan Everts. Pit Beirer is on a bit of a charge. So is Marnie Befoots. But they've got plenty of work to do. They really have got some catching up to do. Talon Voland had a big crash at the beginning of the year. Then he came back at Fox Hills and went down again with Tortelli. His bike was absolutely smashed to pieces. Now he's back again. Now, oh, they're all over the circuit. Who is it this time that's gone down? That's Pit Beirer on the Honda. That's allowed Jockey Carlson to pick up another couple of positions, trying to get the brake lever straight. But up front and charging, Talon Voland, Sebastian Tortelli, and they're both behind the king of European motocross and World Championship motocross. He's on an absolute roll. Jockey Carlson on the RWJ Honda. Well, he's wide open at the moment. Some wonderful photography we're seeing now as they come past in front of us. That's the Oxbow Jan de Groot, Kawasaki, Sebastian Tortelli. When he's on a charge, it's awesome stuff. Look at the way he just goes around Talon Volan to the left, to the right. No respect for the elder rider. That's the American Talon Volan in front of him on the Yamaha at the moment. And he'll know that he's been in a very, very serious race. He's got Sebastian Tortelli, that's Peter Ivan that came into the picture. Mane Befitz presses on with the Winfield machine. Tortelli and Volan, where are they? Where have they gone to? That's Volan. That's Tortelli now a couple of meters further back. So he's got to get a breather and he's got to get Vars back markers again and he's got to get charging. But all the time, Stefan Everts just starts to increase the lead. Talon Volan, he certainly can ride very, very quickly, but when he crashes, he crashes big time. And so can Tortelli over the double, over the triple, never mind that, and triple again. Well, that allows Tortelli to get right up again with the flying American Talon Volan. Talon and his brother Tyson been riding for a long, long time. Very, very popular American riders, campaigning in the USA. Sebastian Tortelli, where is Talon Volan? Behind him, well, the little Frenchman, the 18-year-old youngster from France, has moved ahead of Talon Volan. We can see blue flags waving all the way around the circuit now. Stefan Everts is still in the front. He's doing a great job of work. That's Yves de Maria. On a good day, he'll certainly run with the very, very best in the country. Frederick Bolly, Jockey Carlson, those two will have their own little scrap going on as well. Yves de Maria wanting to get in with those two. Well, Stefan Everts, he must surely know he's done enough. You'll only know that when he pops it onto the back wheel. But now comes the charging Sebastian Tortelli. Tortelli has had work to get through the field. He's moved up to second. Tortelli has gone to the front. Sebastian Tortelli on the Yandergroot Oxbow Kawasaki in the Brazilian Grand Prix goes past Stefan Everts and he takes the checkered flag. Well, can you rattle the cage of Stefan Everts? I don't know. Up to the podium. A win for Tortelli, a second for Stefan Everts, and a third for Talon Volan. Let's go straight back to the gate. Race number 2. The gate drops and away they go. Can Tortelli do it? Frederick Bolly goes to the front. Frederick Bolly comes out of the gate. Well, this time, again, we got pickup sticks in the middle of the circuit. They jump around all over the place. Well, this is a whole different race now. Pitbyra has got an excellent start. So is Frederick Bolly. So is Mike Brown. Well, who is it going to be? Can Tortelli and Everts get through to the front again? Now we'll have a look. Look at this man, Byra. They call him the strong man of German motocross. Honda versus Honda. German versus Belgium. Everts versus the flying Pitbyra. A lot of support. This Mike Brown is an incredible rider. We saw him at the beginning of the season. He put in some great, great rides, and he went back to the USA. He had a couple of tumbles, then he came back again. He's been on the podium a couple of times. Now we see Mike Brown doing it again. He really is very, very capable indeed. He had a strong ride at Fox Hill. Look at Tortelli, jumps into the corner, right over that huge jump, grabs a handful of front brakes, gets on the gas. These Yandergroot machines are incredibly well prepared. He is the maestro of tuning and suspension. And Tortelli now takes a handful and he says, cheers Tennessee, I'm on my way. Let the little guy get past. The little Frenchman, Sebastian Tortelli, the reigning 125 world champion, now with downtown Mike Brown from Tennessee behind him, and he's now charging. Look at Sebastian Tortelli. It's all over. Tortelli has thrown it away. Well, you could see it coming. It was like a bad dream. He got out of shape. He seemed to overjump. He really threw it away big time, and that must have hurt. Stefan Everts has gone to the front. They call him Ronnie Robot, but really he slots them in time after time. Pitbyra has gone to second. Sebastian Tortelli, I think, has gone to the first aid post, but he's back there. He'll come charging through again. He bounces like a rubber ball. But of course, you always have fears when a rider at that age rides so quickly that they're going to get hurt very, very badly in their early career. Stefan Everts has been racing a long, long time. You seldom see him or Mane Befitz or Pitbyra get out of shape. But when Tortelli throws it away, it's a big one. There he's coming back yet again. The blue flags are out and they say, let the youngster through. Mike Brown can't believe that he's got him all over his back. My God, yet again. Well, we've got Byra, we've got Bafoots. Where's Demaria? Demaria needs to get up with the race leaders as well. Marnie Bafoots on the Winfield Suzuki. Changed from the Johnson colours. Of course, they're all in the same family, part of the mighty Rothmans Corporation, but they've decided now to run under the Winfield colours, and very impressive they look indeed. Pit Byron now with Demaria very, very much closer, but Stefan Everts on the back wheel. Well, what can you do with this man? Stefan Everts takes another win. Well, there it goes.
Yeah, it's been a really good GP. Unfortunately, in the first moto, I had some problems with the front wheel. I thought it was broken, but you know, you cannot get everything. But a second and a first is really good. I'm an overall victor. I take the overall, so that's for me the most important thing. And I'm really, really happy. You know, my points lead is now even bigger, and I just hope I can do a few more.
And so to the podium, Stefan Everts, Monik Bafoots and Pit Byra. And we had the chance to talk to Monik.
Yeah, he's at this moment the strongest rider. He's the whole year already. He's winning, and he's the best.
And so to our third place man, a smiling Pit Byra.
But I was very tired at the end, and Monik made a little bit more pressure. He was a little bit stronger, but anyway, I'm happy with 3.
And so we leave Brazil and travel home to Hawkstone Park in the UK for the 500 GP. And what a great race we've got lined up for you. Well, you can't ask for more than Hawkstone Park. Immaculately turned out. The sun came out. 10,000 British spectators came out. And really it was a great day to see the Kurt Nichols of this world back at Hawkstone in amongst the trees. These are sights that you haven't seen for a while. The 500 GP at Hawkstone is underway, and away they go. Daryl King on the Husky. We saw him on the inside. We saw somebody go tight on the trees. Who's it going to be? Number 13. That's Caprani that comes through to the front very, very quickly. We know that Joel Smets is there. He's on the big Husaberg. Kurt Nickel, well, he's got some work to do. He's a fair way back at the moment. You know all about riding at Hawkstone Park. Look at the punishment that they've got ahead of them. This is Grand Prix racing at its absolute best. It really is wonderful stuff. Number 5, that's Daryl King on the Husky. He's gone through to the front very, very quickly. Joel Smets on the Husaberg. He is always there. Number 17 up with the race leaders as well. Who else have we got in this melee of riders? Number 1, that's Shane King on the KTM. Daryl King. Look at the crowds around the circuit. Already they've got the pit boards out. Capriani having a very, very good ride at the moment. But this is a punishing circuit, and whoever can get through to the checkered flag will have certainly had a wonderful day here at Hawkstone. A lot of the crowd waving and cheering for Kurt Nickel. A lot of supporters for the KTM. Means a lot to have a British rider up there in the 500 class. Joel Smets looking stronger and stronger. The circuit is absolutely lined with supporters all the way around, cheering on Kurt Nickel. On the KTM, he's still there. They're screaming for Nickel. All around the circuit, they've got his supporters. Who else is on a roll at the moment? Kurt Nickel comes through. Listen to the air horns. They just want him to get higher up in the picking order. Look at the supporters, absolutely ecstatic to see Kurt Nickel. Then number 7 comes into your picture. That's Jackie Martins on the Husqvarna, and he is riding like a champion. Look at the circuit. They have got ruts that you could lose a donkey in. Well, this track is going to be incredibly rough. Listen to the air horns, and you'll know exactly where Kurt Nickel is. That's the sound that they're used to at Fox Hills when the Malins of this world go through. Now they're all supporting Kurt Nickel on the KTM, but the man that's doing the work is Jackie Martins. Jackie Martins has got that Husky absolutely flying. He knows that the flying Joel Smets will not be too far behind him, and that's the sound that you can recognize, and it's all for one man, the KTM mounted Kurt Nickel. Then Joel Smets. Joel Smets coming through now very, very quickly. He's had a couple of very good wins in Europe this year. Oh, what has happened to Kurt Nickel? The seat has gone missing. So obviously a frame bracket has broken. The seat of the KTM has gone missing, and that's going to make it very, very difficult to ride indeed. Jackie Martins on the Husky has gone clear at the front. He's got the big Husaberg behind him. You can hear that going away into the trees. You can hear that resonance coming back through a mighty Hawkstone Park circuit. And Joel Smets is now firmly entrenched into second spot. But the man of the moment is Jackie Martins, just doing everything right. And behind him, we've got Johansson, first time on show in the UK. That's the YZM 400. A lot of people here at Hawkstone Park today having a good look at that machine. What about Shane King carrying the #1 plate? But he's done enough, I'm sure. The people are already cheering. The checkered flag is there. Jackie Martins is going to take the first win of the day. The goggles come off. Joel Smets goes into second. Excellent to have 500 Motocross Grand Prix. And in third spot, #5, Daryl King on the Husky. Nice to have 500 GP racing back at Hawkstone Park. We'll let Nick Fisk do the rest. Right, Nick Fisk has done his work. He's interviewed all the riders, and he sent them straight back down to the line again. First man to get there, Shane King. That's a good sign. He's all ready. So is Joel Smets. Where is the man that all the British supporters have come to see? Where is Kurt Nickel? It was a seat bracket that broke, and that cost him dearly. Board turns, and away they go. Hawkstone Park comes alive to the sound of 500 GP machines. Yet again, Daryl King goes to the front. Look at Kurt Nickel. Kurt Nickel is now on a charge. 10,000 people. Oh, what has happened now? Who has gone down? #1, Shane King has gone down. Well, he's signaling to the rest of the riders, please don't run me over. You've got to be brave to bend over and pick up your bike, because someone's going to T-bone you right between the legs, and that's going to be the end of your riding career, Shane King. So I suggest you have a good look out. Who has gone to the front? #5, Daryl King leads, but they've got Kurt Nickel right up alongside him. Well, this will bring Hawkstone Park alive. Daryl King, do you know what you're depriving the British spectators of? They want Kurt Nickel right up there in front. They certainly are very, very strong supporters. That's very, very good to see. You can now hear the air horns. You can see the flags. The Union Jacks will come out. Kurt Nickel at his absolute best on the big KTM. But at the moment it's Smets. Look at the way that he gets through those ruts and dips. It's very, very rough. If you've ever ridden Hawkstone, you'll know how it can break up. One of the finest motocross tracks in the world, and certainly for 500 GP racing, the absolute ultimate. They had a club race here a few weeks ago, and even the little KX60 riders rode this Grand Prix circuit. So the youngsters that are watching, this is the same track that you rode, and I salute you all for that. Now you've got world champions riding on exactly the same circuit. Kurt Nickel, he's out to get the crowd behind him now. #2 is still there, Joel Smets. That Husaberg, an absolutely incredible machine. He came over earlier in the year and rode in the Shell Advanced Series here at Hawkstone Park and led from start to finish. Now he knows he's got Kurt Nickel, and of course Kurt has got all the British supporters with him today at Hawkstone. Joel Smets just puts it together. Incredible sound of that big 500. #22, he has moved into second. That is Trampers Parker on yet another KTM. It just shows how strong the KTMs are. Then, of course, Kurt Nickel on yet another KTM. So we're seeing more and more KTMs around the country. In the local races, Ryan Vose doing a wonderful job on a KTM for the Skymaster team as well in the UK. But right now, it's all about Kurt Nickel. Look at the way they go down and up the hill. That hill is a lot steeper than it looks. Then they turn right at the top, they drop down again. Well, there's no dispute, Joel Smets has taken the win. But where is the second man? Where is Kurt Nickel? Where is Trampers Parker? He's done enough, but we're looking for the riders behind him. Where is Kurt Nickel? That's the man that they all... Well, Trampers Parker has moved across. That's sportsmanship at its absolute best. Trampers Parker waited. He allowed Kurt Nickel to come through. Well, wonderful stuff to see. Smets will now go and talk to Nicholas Fisk.
Absolutely love it now.
1997 has seen a great beginning. Each track has offered the pros something different and unique. Record crowds have witnessed close, exciting action at the first 3 venues. And as Mount Morris prepares to drop its gates for the 21st consecutive time, 2 more athletes yearn for their chance, like their predecessors, to conquer this track of legends. It is not the Loch Ness Monster, but it's one of those fans welcoming us to High Point Raceway in Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. None of the riders enjoy these conditions, but they realize it's the same for everyone.
May the best guy win or the luckiest guy win. It's going to take a combination of both. You're going to have to use your head, get a good start, and hopefully your bike will make it, and as long as you stay up, you'll win.
The strategy is just to go out there and survive, you know. I mean, it's going to be, the track's actually getting worse. The first practice, it was pretty good and a little bit thin, kind of soupy, but now it's really getting tacky and sticking to the bikes, and because some gnarly, just deep ruts and hanging foot pegs and everything. So, the trick's going to be to stay up for 30 minutes and keep the bike running.
Taking a look at the Suzuki point standings, Ricky Carmichael dominating so far after 3 events. Scott Sheik in good position, though. Michael Craig looking fast. And look at the conditions. Monsoon-like rains have made this legendary track a mud race. Promoter Dave Coombs, famous for those new sections. David?
Dave Coombs always done a fantastic job of keeping the dust down. He won't have to worry about that today.
It's important to get the whole shot. It looked like Ferry moved a little soon on the gate, as we have Scott Sheik, the Team Honda rider, taking the whole shot.
He just shot up the hill. Looked like he was riding a 250. In a mud like this, you'll see even this early in the first lap how spread out the field is. Normally these guys would be packed pretty tight through here.
We've got word that Ricky Carmichael, the points leader, in fact, he's won the first 3 events, taking 5 of the 6 first motos, went down. That's why we're not seeing him up near the front. So right now, Kevin Windham in 3rd has a good opportunity to get back in the points race.
And he needs it after the start that he got, which wasn't entirely his fault. He had a little bit of bad luck. Looks like he's going for the pass on Deegan. Look how much mud they got to go through. It's a foot deep through there.
So it is now Sheik out in front with Windham. Oh, Windham has gone off the track. Kevin Windham, a bad break for the Team Yamaha rider, has to go backwards to get back on the track.
Well, you can see riders going by, and it's too early in the race for those to be lapped riders, so he's dropping positions. Tough place to try to get back on the racetrack. That's that new section coming down the downhill. I guess he got a little offline there.
There's Chaparral's Michael Brandis, who's starting to mature as a young 125 rider. Another one down. Brian Deegan goes down. Here's Brian Deegan, and it's Stefan Roncana, the Frenchman, number 112, if you can see it. He's on the move on Brian Deegan. This is kind of a European type of day.
Yeah, I would say so. And there's 27 Pichon right behind him. So both those guys have a lot more experience, I think, than most of the American guys riding in the mud. There's that section right there, that water puddle. You want to get the front wheel over that. You let the front wheel drop down in there, and you see that water splash. That's what happened to me in the mud situation here back in 1983. A throttle started sticking. I got water in the carburetor, and boy, that leads to all kinds of problems. Here he's going for a goggle change, Willow.
I suspect we'll see a lot of pit stops for clean goggles today. Brandis with Pichon right in back of him going through the mud. Mikel Pichon with his first moto win on the national scene right here at Mount Morris a couple of seasons ago, David.
That's right, and it always feels good to come back to a race where you've won a moto or had success. I always look forward to it, but boy, what a different set of circumstances here today. Nice move right down on the inside. I don't know how he can see. The whole front of his body is just covered with 2 inches of mud. This is the big sweeper. They head down the hill into the mechanics area. That's where the start comes in.
There you see Reynard with the blue shirt on. Roncada behind him as they go over the finish line. It used to be the finish line jump. They don't jump it anymore. Oh! Reynard goes down. Flopping in the mud. Here's an update on Ricky Carmichael. Still laboring back in 20th, and he is not standing up.
Well, oh, Ryder going down right in front of him. That's one more less guy has got to.
Oh, and Carmichael goes down. Scott Sheik discarding his goggles here toward the end of the race. As right now, he's got to be thinking checkered flag. Sheik, who led this race back in '95, opened a lot of eyes of the factory guys. Last year, he won his first national moto here with a 1 and a 7 a second overall. And he's on his way toward his first national victory of the year. The checkers for Scott Sheik. You see he had his goggles there on the handlebars. Sheik, Ferry, Roncada are top 3. Carmichael also, one of the favorites coming into the race, had his problems, placing 18th. But Scott Sheik of Team Honda did the job, took the win in moto number 1. Let's see who gets the whole shot now here at Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. It's starting to rain just a little bit. Wyndham, a fairly slow start after a little bump there at the gate. And once again, it's number 29, Scott Sheik. Sheik with the whole shot.
And Reynard went into the corner just about last place. There's a dry line out there now, but it's one line.
Here's Roncada in pursuit of number 27, Mikel Pichon. This is the battle for 3rd place. Boy, those whoops are getting tough.
And what's happening out on the track now is it's getting a little tackier. You see the riders having to paddle around everywhere. Every time they put their foot down, it packs up with mud. It's like riding around with ankle weight. So physically, although the pace is a lot slower, it really takes its toll on you.
Your visibility is really good through this section where we probably wouldn't have been able to see it last year. Whoa! He's getting peppered. Talk about a roost.
Because of the lap rider parked sideways in there, they only could choose that one rut, and Roncada just had to follow his fellow countryman Pichon through there and just get covered with mud.
Look out, Pichon's off the track, but he at least stays upright. Let's see if he can get his bike back on the track before Roncada comes by. Oh, he goes down. Michael Craig's mechanic looking on. Dean Baker, as Craig has done a phenomenal job here in the second moto after the 19th place finish. Whoa! Craig goes down just as I said it. Wyndham more than 50 points down to the first place rider Ricky Carmichael coming into this event. It's been done before. We've seen Steve Lamson down by 60 points. Here's the pass. Wyndham getting around Ferry.
Looked like he just picked a nicer line coming out of that corner. Heading up the hill, he was in a little drier spot, and Ferry had trouble negotiating what would have been a double jump today if it was dry, and Carmichael's down again. Watch Sheik over the double. Clears it perfect. Is that Roncada right behind him?
It looked like Roncada. Yes. Let's double check.
Looks like him from the back. From the front, you can't tell.
Roncada's doing everything that Sheik is doing. We've got a heck of a race for the lead now.
Well, the advantage for Sheik right now is the fact that, like I was just saying, the track has dried out, but in one place. So to make that pass, he's got to hope for some lappers to really disturb the line of Sheik, or Sheik's got to really blow it somewhere.
Boy, it's important to focus right now. See Sheik run smooth. That's the sign to Roncada. The winning attitude. Both Mechanic and Scott Sheik have the same attitude. That's for sure, David.
They do. They both have that smile. They both have a lot of charisma and energy, and he's shown in the mechanics area, and Sheik's shown it out on the racetrack.
A great battle underway. Sheik, a little bobble. Roncada is our leader.
You see Sheik having to work his way out into that muddy line to get around a lapped rider, and I'm telling you what, every time you drift out of that groove, you're taking a big chance. He just rolled the dice coming down that downhill, went out into that soup, kept it upright, and still got back into the groove before the corner.
Here comes Scott Sheik on Roncada. Scott Sheik makes the pass.
That's not over yet. That's a tough section down in there.
Not much time left, and Roncada is not holding on to Scott Sheik. The fans are starting to scream as the winner comes across. Scott Sheik now with the 125 sweep for Honda. Sheik, Roncada, Wyndham in third. Craig and Ferry are top 5. Jeff Emig, points leader, winning 2 out of the first 3 events, getting ready. As you see here, a 36-point lead on Jeremy McGrath. The top independent team rider, Larry Ward, in third.
Not long to go now. The track still is a mess out there, and just like Carmichael in the 125, dominating coming into this round, Emig has, but Carmichael's day went south in the first corner, so Jeff's starts have been good, but he's got to get to that first corner.
Ready to go, number 14, right alongside Emig is Dowd. The gate is down for moto number 1. Hughes to the inside, and it's Albertine going down. Looked like Lawrence was out of shape and clipped the back wheel of Albertine. Albertine holding his shoulder. Hughes lined up at the gate at the far inside. And he got a good start coming out of there in third. That's John Dowd right behind Hughes.
Now that paid off. Anytime you can start on the inside, all that mud's going to be slinging to the outside and away from you, and it worked out in his favor. It also worked for Tim Ferry in the 125. He said he didn't have a good pick, which meant he had to go all the way to the inside, but
whoa,
good.
Hughes having trouble getting up the hill, no traction. It's rained a little bit since the 125s. Doug Henry with the 4-stroke is down. The real concern here is that when the 4-strokes shut off, they're very difficult to restart out on the track. And you see here that Doug Henry just got it going.
Not before he caused somebody else to go down, and Jeremy's down too.
So we'll have to recheck the order and see if Jeremy lost a position, as Ryan Hughes kind of cased it a little bit right there, but he is pulling away with the clean uniform. That's right, John Dowd won his first national in the mud at Sacramento, Hangtown.
John is definitely a great mud rider. Here's Phil Lawrence. Remember, he went down the start, so he's back up and running. There's Bradshaw.
And what a fan favorite he is here at Mount Morris. Off the track, Lawrence. Bradshaw gets by him, and Damon Bradshaw is now in third place.
Hard to tell there if Bradshaw just, or if Lawrence rather, let Bradshaw go by, or if he just blew it and tried to make it look like he was just letting Bradshaw go by. But either way, it's tough to get up that hill.
Right now, we're taking a look at the third place rider, Damon Bradshaw, number 10. Similar to Hughes, he didn't race here last year because of injury, but he's riding well now and is very hungry. Look at that. He threw his goggles off on the top of the hill. Currently in third place, Damon Bradshaw. Let's go to Davey.
Show you exactly how bad the condition is. The riders are pulling in to get goggles as the race goes on. We got tipped off. Here comes Damon Bradshaw.
Pit stops are really the call of the day right now. Here comes Damon Bradshaw moving toward his mechanic slowly.
Oh, that's smart. He wants his mechanic to hold the throttle so he can do it. Not sure what he's telling him, but boy, that's pretty quick. Damon got to put him on just like he wants. I had people put him on me before over my nose. I'm like, God, just let me do it. You know, so he was smart to let his mechanic keep that motor running to save time and do it himself.
Cutting back to the battle for fourth place right now, Ezra Lusk out of Bainbridge, Georgia, was able to get by Jeremy McGrath when McGrath went down, but now Jeremy is pulling up and fairly tight on number 11, Ezra Lusk.
This place hasn't been good to Jeremy.
Whoa, right now it's not good to Ezra Lusk. Lusk going down and Jeremy flying by. Restarts the engine, but look at that, he's cutting through the grass.
Yeah, he definitely made things easier on himself there by just riding down through the infield in order to make that adjustment.
Heath Voss looking like a plowman.
Boy, he is just stuck. That's one of those off cameras. You get down too low in one of those deep berms, and that's it. You're stuck there.
You know, Lusk didn't gain any positions, but he certainly cut the course.
Well, I don't want to bust Lusk about that, but I mean, if I'd have done that, you know, in a
back in the old days, didn't they keep a closer look at that? Huh? Oh, Lusk runs right in the back of Phil Lawrence. He had to be looking down.
Well, Lawrence isn't making any friends today, that's for sure. He's had certainly his problems, but I think he was just in the best line. He's probably telling him right there, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Ryan Hughes. Oh, the brakes have gone his way, but he's been in the right position to be opportunistic. Well, for Ryan right here, he's not that far from the checkered flag. He's had some rough times this year, but this is his first career 250 moto win. Ryan Hughes, the checkered flag. Back to 1997 now as Jeff Emig testing those tires, and you can see with the umbrellas up, it's starting to rain. Ryan Hughes, the surprise winner of the first moto.
Buddy Antonez lined up right next to him. Lusk, Larry Ward out there a little further. The whole shot first moto went to Larry Ward.
Let's go down to Davey.
All right, guys, as you can see, it started to rain here with the start second moto. Between motos, I asked Ryan Hughes, why is he lined up all the way on the inside? He said every year he's been here, high point's been muddy. The guy on the far inside got the whole shot. So he decided to come down here and watch just how accurate he is. Let's see how he does.
He got a good start in Moto 1, but Larry Ward got the whole shot from the outside. Gets another good start here in Moto 2. Lusk trailing, though, and there comes Larry Ward from the outside. Ward, his second straight hole shot. Larry slipping to 7th place in the first moto. Ryan Hughes in second now.
And Hughes, the first moto, right away got around Larry Ward. So they took off the same, but the difference was Hughes made the pass initially, and Ward eventually slipped to 7th. Here he's still got a pretty good lead, but I wonder if he maybe will fade again.
One thing we should mention, Albertine not in this second moto after pulling out of the first moto with a shoulder injury. Hughes is our second place rider right now, and oh my gosh, he's having all kinds of problems coming up the area that the 125s had so much problem with. Banging little rubber. There goes Jeff Emig, number 1, but he has to slow down. He almost went off the track. Had to fight for control, and Ryan Hughes takes it back again.
Hughes had a wild ride through there. I think he burned about 900 calories. Look at him. This is at the tail end of it. After he got himself out of trouble, he's still in trouble because he's off way to the back of the seat. Front end can just go wherever it wants, and Emig comes along and kind of straightened them all back out.
But Emig didn't have much room for error right there.
No, if he slipped a little further to the right, he'd have been down in the woods for a while. Now you can see Bradshaw in that roost zone, ducking.
I think that was the same woods that Bradshaw took a ride last year.
Yeah, heading down that hill. He
couldn't remember the end of the race.
Couldn't remember who he was. It's a different story today. He's riding so good.
He's riding outstanding. Damon Bradshaw, right behind the Kawasaki's.
Bradshaw has tightened the screws a little there. You see Doug Henry. I was going, where the heck that's down coming from? He's heading up that hill, so much better start for Doug this time. But Bradshaw's definitely put the pressure on Emig, and now Emig is starting to lose some time to Hughes.
Bradshaw doing a little fishtail in there.
You get down to that bottom, and if you're not exactly in that rut, your bike will find one. That's what happened there. It gave him a gnarly little jolt there, but he was able to save it.
Bradshaw coming to the inside on Emig, and he makes the pass for 3rd place. Damon Bradshaw in 3rd. Much to the pleasure of the crowd, a former 3-time winner here at Mount Morris. Boy, it even looks slippery on the saddle as Ryan Hughes comes up the hill. The all-time winner here at Mount Morris, you might be interested, Rick Johnson. He won 4 times. Damon Bradshaw took 3. Howerton took 3, and here comes Damon Bradshaw. Boy, where did he get the power up that hill?
That's the same place he got around Emig, and what it takes is a lot of nerve, or that other word I can't say on TV, to get down that hill through those ruts and keep that momentum. That's where Ryan got all out of shape right in front of and tangled with Emig earlier. So Bradshaw's got that section dialed in, and no one else really does.
Rain's coming down so hard, that'll help vision, though, a little bit, won't it?
I don't know.
Take the mud off anyway.
Yeah, but no, it's going to make it worse. In fact,
threw his goggles off.
Yeah, there you go.
Our leader, still Larry Ward.
It's not by much, though. Bradshaw has been gaining little by little. Damon's just on a roll. He's obviously just gotten used to these conditions. It's not even bothering him now. It probably reminds him of some of the days when he was an amateur or out in practice when there's not a lot of pressure and you're just out having a good time. And he's obviously in that mode right now because he is going fast and gaining.
There's Doug Henry, number 20, carefully coming off that berm, and look at that, Jeremy McGrath.
Couldn't even tell who that was until he swung back around. See, Bradshaw's got about another 2 or 3 inch extension on his visor. He needs that now without goggles. This is the point in the race when it's for all the marbles, and right now, vision, they don't care. They got mud in their eye, guarantee it. But they're just enduring it right now. Who wants to win the most?
Our leader paddling through.
Who's willing to take the most chances?
Oh, look at this. Bradshaw inches ahead. Coming down, and Bradshaw gets caught up in the water. Can Larry Ward get by him? Oh, look at that. Larry Ward, a great battle with Bradshaw.
Well, Bradshaw took a huge chance going through that lake. I would go through that one time and think, uh-oh, I might have just ruined the bike for the rest of the race, but you have to.
Ryan Hughes holding on to third place after winning the first moto. And Ryan hits the deck. Can he get up quick enough?
I don't think it matters what Bradshaw's got for goggles. He could be riding with one eye shut right now. He can smell this. He wants it so bad.
This is the track he chose to come out of retirement to get back into supercross, motocross racing. It's always because I think the fans have been with him. He's a three-time winner here. His last win, incidentally, was right here at Mount Morris back in 1993, and Bradshaw makes the move on him, coming through the water. Ward still looking back to see what happened. Bradshaw could win the overall.
He could just about push it from here and have it in the bag.
Ducking away from the roost. He knows that checkered flag is waving. Damon Bradshaw. What a moment for these fans.
Damon, 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 Damon,
Damon, did you expect it like this?
I sure didn't. You know, I just kept riding. I didn't know what anybody else was doing behind me, but I just kept trying. I didn't have any goggles, and it was rough, but man, I'm happy.
What about the last lap pass on Warren?
Well, I was pretty sure that it had to happen, you know, for me to win the overall. So I just pushed, and it happened for me.
Anything to say to this crowd?
You are the man. And I tell you, this is the best crowd anywhere we go, man. I tell you, if it weren't for these people, I'd have never done it.
I like to throw my 2 cents in and congratulate Damon. Anybody that watches these shows knows I'm a Damon Bradshaw fan. I'm glad to see it. Hope that gives him some momentum for the rest of the season. And it's also great to see Ryan Hughes get some good results for his hard efforts. It wasn't the win, but it's a step closer.
Hello, everyone. Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Marty Reed from Budds Creek Motocross Park in Budds Creek, Maryland. A very picturesque setting.
There you see Wyndham contemplating try to work his way back into the points battle. A little bit of bad luck so far this season.
So let's take a look at the Suzuki track map.
Well, the big news here, Art, is they're going the opposite direction. It's back to the original direction, the way the track was designed, and most of the jumps have been made quite a bit steeper this year, a lot more air time. And of course, what you're looking at here is flat. There's a lot of elevation here in Maryland.
So the 125s, it's get nervous time, getting ready for their first moto here at Budds Creek. A very famous track that held many GPs throughout the years, as well as the AMA Motocross. Getting set now. They're all ready to go. Who can get the whole shot going up the hill? Oh, Carmichael in great position in the middle. Huffman to the inside. Casey Johnson just to the left of Carmichael. It's Johnson. Oh, how did he get through there? He gets the whole shot. Casey Johnson, our leader, number 32. Johnson with a second place finish, his best of the year at Glen Helen. He had a mix-up with Wyndham in the second moto, but got up for a fourth-place finish to capture that second overall. In second place is number 17, Damon Huffman. He's had all kinds of problems this year. Missed the first 2 races at Gatorback and Hangtown because of injury. Came back with a 14th and a 23rd in the first 2 races he participated in. So he's looking to get back on the podium here.
Well, he certainly hasn't been setting the world on fire, but how can you when you've been so hot and cold and injured? Every time he comes back, he's nursing something, trying to get healthy again, race his way back into shape, and that's a tough thing to do. Look at Sheik down the inside.
Oh, and look at Wyndham cutting right in front of Sheik. Pingree in third. Wyndham is on the come in fourth. He's looking for opportunity to move into third with Sheik right behind him. Now Carmichael is right behind all of this pack in pretty good position. Look at the high line there. Able to keep right on going, though, Kevin Wyndham. The next target right in front of him, Damon Huffman, Pingree, and Carmichael you see now in the picture, number 70.
And he's just splattered with mud, too, trying to look for different lines. They put some water on the track here and there to keep the dust down, not only for the riders, but for the spectators, too. It's pretty hot out here today, and it's going to get worse.
If I were to say where he would pass, well, you got your choice. He's passed Huffman twice on the finish line jump. He's passed 2 riders on the big off-camber turn.
And they're heading for that right now. As soon as they go up around this left-hand corner, watch, he typically squares this corner off, cuts it a little tighter, Actually follows Johnson through there this time. Watch right here. This is where he's been slick.
Oh, Kevin Windham inches in front of Casey Johnson, just enough so Casey has to let off a little bit.
Here's another look at Windham. Just gets up to the very top of this off-camber, finds a little bit of a rut right there, treats it as a berm.
Oh, Windham, our leader, is backing down the hill, holding his hand up, making sure that everybody can see him. There's Craig going around him. He is dead on the track. What a bad break. It must have been the mechanical because he was upright. And our new leader is Ricky Carmichael. Okay, so we've got Ricky Carmichael out in front. Here's Huffman getting by Sheik, and Sheik has got some kind of problem.
Well, I can see he's still got a chain. You can see through the wheel. He's looked like when he came out of the corner, he was trying to clutch it and get a little more horsepower, and the bike just died on him.
So we'll have to check a little later on. Maybe Marty can find out what happened there. Here's Kevin Windham coming up the hill.
What happened, Kevin?
Chain broke. I don't know how. I don't know if this.
Even though he's got covered with mud early in the race, didn't stop him. Another moto win. He's going to stretch that points lead.
The checkers for Ricky Carmichael. Scott Sheik testing the gate. Marty's got some concern for Carmichael.
Potential trouble for Ricky Carmichael. During the parade lap, he stopped short. The reason, the clutch lever was very loose. They've made an adjustment, but they're not sure if he's going to be able to go. They've got their fingers crossed.
What a time for uncertainty as we get set for moto number 2 of the 125s. Ricky Carmichael, our winner in moto number 1, in case you just tuned in. He got some good brakes, though. Windham, a broken chain. Sheik's engine just wouldn't work after a while, and they're off for moto number 2. Let's see who gets the whole shot. Carmichael. It is Ricky Carmichael holding on to that middle position, getting the whole shot here in moto number 2. Number 70 in front of Casey Johnson, number 32. Damon Huffman again, a good start, number 17. And there's Michael Craig, number 15. Ferry is behind Craig, number 22, with Ricky Carmichael in the lead.
Ferry putting a lot of pressure on Huffman coming down that downhill into the corner. He's giving it all he's got right now.
Ooh. Craig almost lost the behind there.
Well, what happens, he came out of that corner, he was off to the back of the seat, he was still leaned into it.
Ferry goes down. Tim Ferry goes down, a bad break for him. And the 2 Honda of Troy riders make the pass.
Looked like he may have bent his clutch lever up too, just as he got going. He either runs it a little high or it got bent up when he went down right there. But what happens is they put a little bit of water on the racetrack here and there, and it's slick, and it takes a few laps for all that to get worked in for you to realize where the slick spots are. And Craig came out of that corner, got a little sideways, he's sitting off to the back of the seat. Johnson's getting more comfortable with this, with getting better starts, especially here today, having a chance to run out there in the first moto and just kind of see what it's like. He said he got a little pumped up, and sometimes you get a guy on your tail and puts pressure on you, and if he doesn't really make a bid, eventually you just get comfortable with it, and after a while, even though he's close to it, he doesn't bother you anymore. So you know he hasn't stuck a wheel in anywhere, but he sticks one in there, gets it done.
Oh boy, does he ever. Michael Craig looking back to Casey Johnson before cutting into this next turn. Ron Cotta's really an interesting story. This is one of his finest performances this year, but he's coming off a second place overall in the mud at Mount Morris. More like his races in Europe. He had a 3-2 for a second overall there. Really impressive, I thought, in his first professional season in America in the Supercross ranks.
Everything's just so exciting for him. He loves it here in the United States, especially California. I've seen some articles on him and talking about how much he loves the surfing and the weather. And look, like right there, Huffman down the inside makes a great move. Right here, Ron Cotta's he can see up the track on some of the portions right up to his teammate Craig. It's not impossible for him to work his way into second before the end of this moto, because he does come on strong late in the race.
Back to Ron Cotta, total different situation than Jean-Michel Bayle, or even that of Mikel Pichon, who was so homesick for France and his family. Ron Cotta's got most of his family with him in California, and they're just having a ball.
Seems to be just the opposite for him. He doesn't want to go home. He wants to stay here and eat an In-N-Out burger and go surfing and look at all the pretty women out in California, I think.
How about that big cowboy hat he sported at the banquet at the Pace Sports Management after the Supercross season? He was decked out in Western attire. So Stefan Ron Cotta getting into it not only as far as the culture of America is concerned, but certainly has done a good job in his initial year. Ron Cotta hopping in front of Casey Johnson there as we speak of him. Number 112. He's not going to have that number plate next year. We don't dare take our cameras off Ricky Carmichael if something should happen. But behind, Raynard has already passed Craig into Foy.
I wonder what Carmichael's looking over at. He knows he's got a big lead, but what I may be looking at is he's wondering who's in second. He's doing the math, and right now he's going, okay, is Wyndham going to make it all the way into second? Nope. Okay, well, that's 5 points instead of 3 I'm going to gain on him.
Our computer shows us that Scott Sheik is in 14th as Ricky Carmichael takes the checkers, his 3rd time for a 1-1 sweep. Raynard finishing in 4th, and a good top 10 performance by the privateer Ron Titchener in 9th. 38 points ahead. Jeff Emig number 1. Damon Bradshaw and Doug Henry also preparing their areas. Bradshaw coming off his historic win.
You know, Art, the starting gate here at Budds Creek is a lot lower than most. We get a shot of it here in a second. And look at the gate. It's only about maybe 10 inches off the ground where you can get it, jump right over it. Your front wheel will just knock it down if you win early.
They tried to do that at a GP several years ago. The Earls did it as we're ready for moto number 1. Oh, no, my goodness, on the hillside. And a couple of big names involved. Damon Bradshaw getting up there. That's Henry, number 20, just getting underway. And another wreck at the top of the hill. Emig, number 1, trying to restart. Getting his first pole shot of the outdoor season, McGrath won the 2 previous years here at this event. Ezra Lusk in 2nd place. LaRocco in 3rd. Big surprise there with a good start. Hughes, Antonez, and McCormick with good starts. We're at Budds Creek, Maryland after Ricky Carmichael swept the 125s. We're in the 250 action right now. Big battle for the lead. Ezra Lusk on the right. Jeremy McGrath, number 2, reestablishing things.
Well, Lusk has got a great drive off that plateau, but Jeremy on that inside line just took just the right speed, just the right line, so Lusk had nowhere to go.
A lead pack of 4 riders. Anything happens to Jeremy McGrath, and we've got a new leader.
This is kind of rare to see 4 guys still this close. Usually something's happened by now. Somebody makes a pass.
Oh, just as you say it, Ezra Lusk cuts to the inside. Jeremy McGrath all of a sudden is now in 2nd place. Not from a mistake, really. Ezra Lusk just taking advantage of the situation. In 2nd place, number 2, Jeremy McGrath, but getting all kinds of pressure from Mike LaRocco, a Team Suzuki teammate.
You know, I talked to Jeremy coming into this race during the week, bumped into him, and he was just saying how he was a little bit sore from riding so much. He'd been injured and wasn't able to ride, but here he's been able to practice, getting passed by LaRocco again now. It's the 2nd time, and you know, you hear in his interview that he wants to really turn things around, and he had the chance to ride. He's feeling healthy again, got the whole shot, and it's still not enough. You got to be wondering what's going through his mind.
Ryan Hughes simply right there trying to take advantage of one of those breaks.
Well, Jeremy just got out to that berm and wasn't leaning into the corner, and lost his balance a little bit. Just momentarily, that allowed Ryan to get up there and just keep pressure on. Ryan's trying everything. Jeremy is not going to make it easy for him, that's for sure. He's countering every move. Right here, Ryan squared that corner off. He's just going to out horsepower. Look at that. Jumps. That's just a strength move right there, because you slow down a little bit to land on the level. If you jump out there where Ryan did, you land on the face of that next hill, and it's just kabam right there into the face of that jump. You bottom out.
Ezra Lusk looking for the checkered flag.
He's got a great style. I really like the way he has matured on the 250, and the way he just floats around the track. His style actually, to me, seems like it's changed a little bit for the better. Really fun to watch.
Up the hill to the checkered flag. Ezra Lusk, his first outdoor national 250 checkered flag.
Yeah, this is just like something during the week, like they're just out on the golf course or something, talking about who knows what.
Looked like Jeremy was talking about an upside-down experience. Ezra Lusk looking very cool. There's Mike LaRocco Sr. in back of Mike LaRocco Jr. After going such long motos, how can they look so relaxed?
I think it's not relaxed, it's tired. There's the difference.
It could be. As we're getting set to go, they're starting to rev the engines here for moto number 2 in Budds Creek, Maryland. Known for its topography and high speeds. Let's see if it's a clean start this time. Whoa, Jason McCormick getting the whole shot, buddy. Right there, though, is Ezra Lusk. Lusk moving right in front of 52 at that moment. Ezra Lusk still in the lead, number 11, but he's got a lot of fast riders right behind him, not far behind. Jason McCormick in an unaccustomed second place, though, but a talented privateer. And then John Dowd, who's always strong. Here comes Emig cutting inside Dowd. They do a little bump. Dowd goes off the track. Emig moves into third.
Emig means business this moto. He went by Jeremy and went around Dowd there with authority, sent Dowd off into the trail ride. He wants to stay in contact with Lusk. He knows that Lusk was obviously riding good the first moto. Look at that pass.
Oh, an easy pass at the finish line jump there. Very popular place to pass today.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks easy, but what he just did right there, Emig, I mean, he came up that hill just smoking and flew right into the corner, jumped his way past into second, and he means business right now. He is aggressive. He's not looking back. He wants the lead.
Uh-oh. Henry's down. And it doesn't look good, David.
No, it looks like he's gotten the wind knocked out of himself.
There's the number 20, the 4-stroke, the European colors. And he's going over toward the crowd. Oh, this does not look good at all. He's asking them to take his goggles off. Both arms rather limp. The fans now obliging to take his helmet off for him.
Well, he was reaching up, I think, with his left arm to
and they're calling
take the goggles off.
They're calling for some medical help as well.
Now he's just got both arms to his sides.
Oh, and now is when things really get interesting on the track. When you got a guy who's leading the points and wants to extend that lead. Long season motocross, especially when you consider each event is 2 30-minute motos. Jeff Emig wants to pick it up right here. Ezra Lusk, the winner in the first moto, though, David, is not giving up easily.
No, he's going to make it tough. Lusk, this was when we came back to that shot. I mean, he's just doing everything so nice. The way he came out of that berm and landed on the side of that bank there, just so he could miss some of those bumps and get the wheel back to the ground. Or if you could call it that, it's actually the side of a cliff right there. And he's just floating around the track, and it's still not enough. Emig is still slicing into that lead.
And John Dowd sneaks into our picture every now and then in third place. If anything should happen to the lead, too, Dowdy's right there. Ezra Lusk closes off the inside, but barely. And Emig takes the high route like Wyndham did in the 125s.
Could just see that coming. You could see Emig setting it up as he came through there, and I know Lusk is smart enough to have anticipated that, but he just tried to go around the corner fast enough so that Emig wouldn't be able to get there in time, but Emig was just slick enough to get in there and just close the door.
The mechanics having a good laugh. Jeremy Albrecht on the left, Steve Butler on the right.
It's not as funny out here for these guys as it is in that mechanics area. Let me tell you, you're getting tired. Lusk wants this win. He knows if he can stay where he is, he'll probably get the overall. And
oh, here comes Dowdy, his teammate, passing him for second place. We've got a polite but tremendous battle for second place.
I'm impressed with Dowd more and more. I mean, he has just come on stronger and stronger on this 250, and to where he is a threat to win a moto at any given time. And this could be one of them right here.
He has to get by number 1, Jeff Emig, though.
Front end almost washed out on him right there. Look at that.
Oh, he tried the same move, but oh no, Dowdy goes down. Didn't have the power, couldn't keep the balance on the off camber. Jeff Emig closing in on a victory here in the moto, while Ezra Lusk is looking forward to an overall. He definitely doesn't want to find himself going down.
No, he's far enough around now that he could probably drop it and get up and still pick up the overall.
It's been a year of firsts for Ezra Lusk as the checkers fly for Jeff Emig. 6 moto wins out of 10 motos on the year. Emig, Lusk, Dowd, McGrath, and Hughes are top 5. Checking out the top 10, Bradshaw sneaks up there despite his problems.
Multi-Air, the choice of HRC Honda Team RWJ. Multi-Air helped Jockey Carlson battle through the dust of Portugal to win. Multi-Air filters.
We're race of the season. Henry makes the $1,000 won 900 Pro Race Hole Shot Award. Henry is out in front. Doug Henry out in front on the four-stroke. And the crowd is standing, giving Doug Henry a great cheer as he takes the checkers for the third time of the 1997 season. And a well-deserved hand for Doug Henry.
Every round of the 97 USA Supercross Championship. 100 minutes of action per round, and it's available from Motovision.